All right. Last but not least, we have Devon Ponds from Friends and Allies Brewing Company. There's Devon. Come on up.
Got two microphones. Your timer's right there.
Hey everyone. Hey everyone. I'm Devon Ponds with Friends and Allies Brewing Company out of Austin, Texas, and it's a pleasure to be back here in San Diego. For those of you who I don't know, I was the financial manager for Port Brewing the Lost Abbey for a couple years here, so it's really a pleasure to be back here in the city. But I'm here to talk to you about Friends and Allies Brewing Company, my project in Austin, Texas. So Friends and Allies, we're about three things. We're about quality, we're about execution, and relationships. Let's talk about quality first, because right now it matters more than ever. If someone can't tell you how they're going to deliver consistent, stable, quality beer in this market, they're going to have a real problem. Our head brewer, Nathan Crane, has a mechanical engineering degree, a master's in brewing science, and 6 years of experience brewing for Elysian and Port Brewing the Lost Abbey. He knows what it takes to produce clean, flavorful, stable beer, and knows what it takes to do it at our projected scale. Externally, we made certain that our brand communicates quality, but also accessibility. On the one hand, it doesn't look like an energy drink, and on the other hand, we didn't scrawl an esoteric European word on the side of it. It's a deliberate, graphically polished design with a color palette that says, this is first-class, accessible beer. We planted the core brand front and center and built a unified shelf set around that. Quality is nothing, though, without execution. We have made strategic steps in 2016 to accomplish what we've been able to do, and good decisions to set ourselves up for 2017. This year, 2016, we used a newly minted Texas state law to launch the first brand through an alternating proprietorship agreement in the state. And I will take a moment to differentiate contract brewing in Texas from an AP agreement. An AP agreement means that we brew, package, and distribute the beer ourselves. So we're telling an authentic story, and we're controlling quality from beginning to end with that beer. We went to the market using the AP at the beginning of the year, and since then we've sold over 700 barrels, all in Austin. 95% of that has been one product, all draft. So we've already built a flagship brand, the Noisy Cricket Session IPA. The Noisy Cricket Session IPA is the best-selling draft session IPA in Austin right now. It's sold in over 125 accounts. So we're closing in on an impressive year of brand building, and we're on the verge of launching a new facility. So within a couple of weeks, we'll have a capacity of over 6,000 barrels. It'll allow us to launch the cans that you saw a few moments ago. It'll also allow us to open a 2,000 square foot tasting room in the shadow of downtown Austin. So this brand is poised to break out. But quality and execution, that's not everything. Anybody who knows this business knows it's a relationship business. Whether you're talking about customers, peers, or parallel industries. So that's why we self-distribute. It keeps us in touch with our customers. It gives us a chance to provide top-notch customer service, and distribution is a customer service industry. My partner, Ben Sabin, he grew a brand through self-distribution from 1,000 barrels to 12,000 barrels in Austin, Texas over the past 5 years. So we have those relationships. Within our peer group, all the hops we used in 2016, we bought from 2 breweries in San Diego. That may not matter this coming year with the new hop crop, but last year that mattered. When we needed Saison yeast for the only other beer we brewed, we got it from Riolel. So at Friends and Allies, we're about combining our expertise, our relationships, and execution to create an engaging, quality product that will inspire a crowd. Inspire a crowd to join the pack and make it a part of their story. So we're very excited about the opportunity to work with the experts at CBA, just as we're preparing to level up with the new facility. I know that Nathan, Ben, and I have a lot to learn from that accomplished group, and we look forward to the possibility of bringing our energy and momentum to that relationship.
Well done. I'll give you a mic. Yep. All right. Pretty tight presentation. Stephen, what do you think of it?
Well, if you've seen Hopewell at all, you know I'm going to like your aesthetic. That's a beautiful can that you have there. I like your focus on quality. I don't think that it's necessarily what the primary thing you communicate, which isn't a bad thing. I think you communicate a lot of openness, engagement that way. My only confusion was on the name Noisy Cricket. It seemed to stand out as kind of an anomaly.
Yeah, so our core beer names are a mix. It's Noisy Cricket, it's the Urban Chicken Saison, and then the Springdale White Ale, which is the road that our new brewery facility is on, and then the Fresh Coast IPA, which is a West Coast style IPA, since we brought a brewer here from the West Coast. You know, the Noisy Cricket was kind of a fun name. It was our first beer out of the gate. We knew that we were going to have to make it a flagship beer, so it had to be a catchy name, and it matches the style. You know, it's a session IPA, so it's a small beer, but it has a lot of aroma and a lot of flavor, so hence the Noisy Cricket. Plus, crickets are sometimes green, so green and hops, and it all kind of works together in the brain.
All the aromas and all the flavors. Tom, do you agree?
Totally agree. I think this is a really nice session IPA. What's nice is the use of hops, but I really dig on the touch of rye. That little bit of spice that's providing a platform for the hops is really nice. It's got a slightly New England ascorbic-y to it. You know, it's got a little bit of vitamin C quality, but overall, I think it's really a really nice session IPA.
Thank you.
All right. Dan, what do you think of the presentation? What do you think of the brand and the company overall?
Actually, I'm very impressed. I really like your logo. Like I said, I love the can design. I think they all looked really clean, simple, and consistent. I think you're doing the right thing by trying to self-distribute. You know, keep your hands and everything around
As
the
long as we
quality,
can.
the distribution. It's definitely the right path. But I think you're on a good trajectory, and the beers, I could easily drink a couple of those.
Thank you.
Amy, even with your sinus infection, could you drink a couple of these?
Actually, I didn't know that it was, because if I didn't read it, I didn't know it was session. It's very, I mean, I thought it was very good for, I mean, it's not over the top at all, but for a session, very flavorful. I liked it a lot.
Great.
And I love the packaging, just like what you guys said, the clean with the colors, it's exactly what I wrote down. Yeah, very nice. Thank you.
Yeah, some good comments about the branding. Carmen, what do you think of the branding and design of Friends and Allies?
The presentation overall was really tight. It's clear that you guys know the direction that you want to be heading, and I think that's terrific. I like that you led with quality, and I also like that you said that the design itself spoke to quality. When you said that, it's true. Like the clean package and the clean design, it made me believe in a more compelling way that the product was going to be high quality. I also really respected what you said about relationships in this industry, but specifically being about relationships. And I'm curious how much of that has to do with the name itself. We didn't talk much about that.
Yeah, so the name is actually interesting. It's a combination of talking about those relationships between Ben, Nathan, and I, having worked at so many different breweries in the industry and cities. Mm-hmm. But it's also, it's actually where Texas came from. So when the Spaniards were exploring Texas and they encountered a group of Native Americans, the Native Americans said Tejas. And the Spaniards interpreted that as being, oh, the land we're in is called Tejas. That's what they're telling us. But in fact, that word meant friends and allies. So the Native Americans were either asking, you know, are you guys friends and allies? Or they were saying, we are friends and allies. So Tejas became Texas, and that's kind of the backstory that ties it all together. So it's not just about, oh, we know a lot of people when we brought a brewer from the West Coast. And
Run
we know
with that,
people.
man. That's great.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
that one sells really well in Texas.
Well, you learn something new every day. Well done.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ray.